Brandon, when it comes to behavior change and emotions, my son, he's 3.5. He's a big thumb sucker. Throughout the day, he's fine. He's playing, no big deal. And then something stresses him out and he immediately goes to the thumb. Right. So I've looked at a couple of different behavior change options for him and haven't had much success. I talked to him about it, and it's definitely a compulsion and not something he wants to do. So I'll say, that's not good. It'll make you sick more often. It'll hurt your teeth. And he says, I don't want to suck my thumb, Dad, but then he does it anyways. It's a compulsion. So do you work with behavior change at all with kids? Have you dealt with that?
That is a really fantastic question. To be honest, listen, I don't have a whole lot of sometimes the case, which is that a lot of these behaviors kids will grow out of, and we hyper focus.
A few moments later.
You're a little bit more elegant than me.
Trust me.
To the shock of everyone on the podcast, I literally just said, "I'm the father, not you." I think that I have all the answers also. So like, there'll be moments where my dad is like, "Hey, George, maybe try this." And like, yeah, that's a good point. I should try that. So
I
I'm not
think
a tyrant, but
yeah, absolutely. Well, I think one thing I could add here that I think is important. So positive discipline, we talked about how positive discipline is not permissive discipline. That's not what it's called. It's not what it is. It's what people might assume, but it's not what it is. So if your father, if I'm at my dad's farm and my children are acting crazy and I don't know how to hold a boundary and I'm not holding his rules of his home for him, I think there's a place where he might say, hey, these are my expectations in my house. And you got.
All right. I'm intentionally not stopping the recording yet because dang, Dustin, you were typing about Maury Povich. You're not the father. And I was like,
you are not the father.
I was like, hold it in. Cannot laugh. Because you were like talking about something super serious too, Brandon. And I was like, oh my gosh. It was like internally I was going to explode. I was like, and I think Brandon went off camera already. So I'm like, crap, I can't go off camera too because it's going to be so obvious what we're doing. And I was like, so when you go back and watch this, you're going to see me just like,
yeah. Not hearing
I'm like that meme where the kid's like really,
yeah.
Okay, I had to get that out. I want to record this because we can clip this up.
That is too.
Look, I saw those veins bulging, and George and I was like, "Stop!"
I was like, I'm trying to find what we were saying.
I've got to go to these chats. I got to see some of this chat.
Where was it? It's way back up there.
You are not the father.
Okay, we were talking about hey, enforcing boundaries with other people. And I said something like, I literally just look him in the eye and say, I'm her father, not you. And then Dustin says, my man. I said, I'm open to invite Darth Vader voice, I am the father. RKO out of nowhere. Maury Povich comes in. You are not the father. And I was like, oh my gosh. The timing couldn't have been worse because you were in the midst of yeah, this is how you really deal with that. You've got to draw that line with the people, but also put it in hey, if you don't adhere to this, then we're going to have to that. And I'm sitting over here trying to hold it in. And then I got Justin earlier too.
So I made myself look like I was fixing my nose. So.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose it. That's hilarious. That's too funny.
I made Justin have to go off. Dustin was like,
not you.
I said, that's not a thumb.
Yeah, that's what got me. I was like, oh my God, that's so inappropriate. Because you're talking about a kid with a thumb. I get it.
I meant for Dustin going, oh.
I know. I know what you meant, but.
Oh man.
Okay, all right. We can end the recording now, but I wanted to capture this candid moment just for us to have because that was hilarious. All right.